So today's topic, as I read it, was faith in ilwonsang. And so I started contemplating this faith idea, and I thought, okay, do I have faith in ilwonsang? When I walk into the temple the first time, I see ilwonsang, do I go, oh, I'm enlightened, I have faith? Or I see a Buddha statue and I go, oh, I have faith. Or I see Master Sote-san's picture and I go, oh, I have faith. I think not. I'm not sure that's where faith comes from. I don't mean to contradict the importance of any of those, but I started to contemplate, well, what is faith and where does it come from? And so I hope this fits with the teachings. I think that faith comes from searching for something. The Buddha said that he was searching for an answer to suffering or stress, and he used as his first kind of stress, old age, sickness, and death. He wanted to find an answer to the suffering that those brought. And so he pursued his path. And so I think faith comes as an answer to the stress of life. We're looking for an answer to the stress of life. I think that's why people look for religion. I think that's what brings people here. And so how does faith develop? I think it develops through three steps. I think you come here, you meet the reverends, you go, hey, these people are pretty cool. They got something that seems pretty special. We have this Dharma hall, we have ilwonsang. Oh, that's all pretty cool. Maybe there's some kind of answer here. So I think I'll pursue it a little more. And then you come to the teachings, you come to the meetings, you begin to learn a little bit about Won Buddhism, about the teachings of Won Buddhism, about the Red Book, about, how Won Buddhism is an answer to stress, how it has a method, a teaching that will help you with the stress of daily life, and you start to practice it. And you learn about the fourfold grace, you learn the idea that all is grace. You don't necessarily believe it just because somebody says it, or I don't, but you think, well, maybe I can start applying this idea to life. I can look at the fourfold grace and say, Sote-san spells it out, not as an article of faith, but as an article of reason. If you look at the way things work, we get a lot that we don't necessarily know about, and if we model ourselves on those things, those fourfold graces, it makes life better. We kind of see that. And then we practice the threefold practice, cultivating our mind and body, looking at the human affairs and universal principles, and then practicing through what we learn from those two parts in how we live our lives. And we're more careful, we see what we're doing, we observe what we're doing, and we notice that, our life is doing better. We feel better. We feel less stress. Things are going better. So that's a second level of faith. So the first level of faith is like a kind of curiosity, a seeking and a curiosity like, well, maybe this is an answer. Second level of faith is like, okay, I'm trying it out and it actually seems to work. The third level of faith is something that I haven't reached, but I would like to, and it's the level of realization. And I think that's spelled out the best that I could speak about it in the IlWonSang Bao. So it talks about understanding what the teachings are, understanding what things are, how they work. It talks about how to apply them, cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, and using our minds and bodies skillfully. So what's the result of that? Thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Ilwan and become one with the nature of Ilwan, which means we don't have faith. We know the answers now. We know how the universe works. We know we don't have to suffer. We embody it. It becomes us. We become it. And that's the goal. That doesn't mean you don't get anything out of it until you reach that goal. Obviously, there's that second level where you begin to realize there's a lot to get out of it. But then maybe you have the taste of enlightenment, and you say, I want to go further. I want to keep practicing. I want to keep working at it until I have that full realization of the meaning of all this. So that's how I understand faith in IlWonSang. Thank you.